everything's great. But being different for the sake of being different, I'm not a big fan of, right? If you just want to be different for the sake of
technology, I would hide behind it.
And you start to hear some of their challenges, and yes,
because it speaks to the core of who you are and what drives you forward. Because what makes you different is what drives you.
All right, welcome everybody to the Master Connector Show. I'm your co-host, Rob Genovese, and listen, we're coming at you every single Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, always bringing you amazing, amazing people that we want you to learn from, connect with, because this is all about creating a community, creating valuable connections. Now, my co-host, Steve Spiro, and I, we go back about 27 years now. Seems to get longer every time I say it, but it's about 27 years. Both started out former shy guys. We're both introverted, both picked on as kids, last picked for the team. If you can relate, that was me. Not a big sports guy, but that kind of stuff you take with you through your life and you think you have no value because you don't get picked, for fourth grade baseball or kickball or anything, But by the time I got my 20s, I was still clueless. Steve and I met through a common business venture and mentor. And, Steve had a few things under his belt already. I was honestly plain clueless, knew nothing about business, nothing about relationships. I didn't know how to create connections because I didn't even know how to talk to you. So that was a big hurdle for me. But Steve had already started an advertising agency. He already held a couple of different black belts in a couple of different martial arts disciplines. So he had some success. He had a leg up on me, although he'll tell you different. But we both came from a kind of a clueless place when it comes to this kind of stuff. Now, fast forward, our paths reconverged a year later through networking, through meeting people. I gave him a call. I said, hey, I'm doing some great networking. I want to introduce you to some great people. And that's where we came together again. And now we're doing the show together. So look, this is about creating connections. And, Steve is responsible for bringing us amazing guests. And this week is no different. We're going to bring you somebody who you can learn from, somebody you can connect with. Somebody's going to bring you so much value, but we've only got a short time to do it. So listen, we don't want you to miss a single show because every week is valuable. Every week, amazing guests. So go to masterconnector.show. See the upcoming episodes. Click on those links there and you'll be taken to the events page. And just click that you're going to be attending it because you make the show even more experiential, even more interactive. And without you guys, we're not even doing the show. So I'm going to bring on Mr. Master Connector himself, Mr. Steve Spiro. Hey, what's up, Steve?
What's going on, Robbie G? It's funny. You said I don't have a leg up, but when I do the roundhouse kick, the leg is up there, if you know what I mean, right? So, but no, all good. But you're right. I mean, we have a lot in common, and yeah, I had some success, but the one thing in common is we both were clueless when it came to connecting with people. So the fact of we're doing the Master Connector Show, it still baffles me to this day. But you're 100% right. It's the community. We're doing it for you, community. And so if you're watching this, make sure you get in the comments, connect, tell us where you're from, connect with each other. It's your show. It's not our show. It's your show. So, but I appreciate you, Rob G. But what's going on, friends? Steve Spiro, the Master Connector, coming at you live and direct. And here's my question for you. Do you feel trapped? Do you feel stuck? Are you pooped out at parties? I don't know if you guys remember. Maybe some of you boomers or some of you Gen Xers, but the show I Love Lucy, right? Vitamin Vegemin, right? So we're not going to talk about Vitamin Vegemin, that's for sure. But it's a funny episode. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, right? And I do take some really good supplements, but not Vitamin Vegemin for sure. But here, what does the phrase becoming the CEO of your career mean to you? To me, it means taking full ownership and strategic control of your professional journey. It involves setting clear goals and continuously developing your skills, making intentional decisions that align with your long-term aspirations, and we all hopefully have them. Hopefully you have something you're striving for. I believe that we're as humans, we're always striving for something. And, maybe I don't know if it's a gender thing, but I know as a male, I love always having a goal I'm striving for. So, but listen, by viewing your career as a business, you prioritize investments in personal growth, actively seeking out opportunities and embrace a mindset of innovation and resilience. So key, right? Whether you're, we hear this phrase, entrepreneur. I don't know if you've heard it, but I heard it recently from my good friend Tina Campbell. I heard her say it, and I was like, What's that?" But it's true, right? There's entrepreneurs, but an entrepreneur, meaning you may not be an owner of your own company, but you're treating, what you do as a career in your job. Even you work for a Fortune 100 company, you have your own business and your own mindset, and you take and treat it that way, right? John Maxwell is one of my favorite authors, and when we speak on stage, I'll quote him a lot. But he speaks about the different types of you're not just leading up, but you're leading horizontally, and you're leading down, right? There's all sorts of ways: lead up, down, horizontally. But anyway, this proactive approach empowers you to navigate challenges, capitalize on your strengths, and ultimately achieve the career success and fulfillment you desire, right? And so we're going to have an amazing time. So again, right, today's show, thanks Rob, is becoming a CEO of your career, and we're going to have a great time. So again, make sure you get in the comments. Again, we're LinkedIn lurker. Nope, we're LinkedIn participants, not LinkedIn lurkers. So get in there, comment. We love participation. So get in there, type in hashtag Let's Go. And again, I want to give a special thank you for Yolanda Chin, who's always here, and she loved my Roundhouse Kick comment, so I appreciate that. But just to appreciate you, Yolanda, and I know there's a bunch of other users watching. Get in the comments, because we only see a number, X number of people watching. We don't know who's watching unless you get in the comments. So do that. But I'm gonna pass it over to Rob to introduce our amazing guest. You're the man, Rob.
Awesome. You too, Steve. All right. Listen, everybody, we don't want to waste any more time because we only have a little bit of time. But listen, this week we have Tammy Alvarez. She's the CEO of the Career Winners Circle, as well as a best-selling author, professional keynote speaker, inspirational coach, trainer, and epic storyteller. As an award-winning entrepreneur and former Wall Street executive, Tammy believes leaders who inspire courage are at the heart of every successful business. Her spirited break all the rules approach, I love that, blends decades of C-suite experience with a pragmatic, results-based coaching style that helps business professionals create a big impact and love every Monday again. That's a really unique concept. Her recent book, Escaping the Career Trap, Transform Your Apathy into Ambition and Never Hate Mondays Again, is a self-leadership blueprint for high achievers who want to experience true career fulfillment. Please help us welcome to the show, Tammy Alvarez. Hey, Tammy.
Thank you, guys. It's so great to be here. And Rob and Steve, I love what you're doing and connecting. And that is what it is all about, both personally, professionally. And I'm just beyond thrilled to be here. So thanks for the invite.
Well, absolutely, Tammy. And it was great getting a chance to be at your launch party. And that's the connection here. Obviously, we connected. You had me on a summit where we did a virtual thing. And then I got it to be on your stage, which was an honor to kick off. And you did an incredible job. So I'm like, I have to have this woman, this amazing woman on our stage, because she's just incredible. So just blessed to have you on here with us. And Yolanda's giving you a special welcome. So
thanks, Yolanda. And just a few public service announcements. I was picked last too for the kickball team. And yes, girls are just as ambitious as boys. So there we go.
I agree with you. You're right. And I should never get into the gender thing. That's a slippery slope, and it's probably never win thing.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. So we're going to dig into this. We want to just start with, the idea of steps, right? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one single step, right? So let's talk about steps. So here's the question. So community, type in hashtag steps, and I love everyone participating. Luis Melendez, and great to have you on here. Everyone from Groovy Adventures. Oh, Ventura. Okay. Nice.
Love it.
All right.
Love it.
Good stuff. But anyway, here's the question for you. How can someone start treating their career like a business, and what are the first steps they should take?
Great question, Steve. And I didn't realize this until I backed into it. So as a Wall Street executive, I led teams up to 2,000 people, 35 countries, all kinds of fun stuff. But as an entrepreneur, I was clueless. So when I cashed out and moved to that tropical island off the coast of Belize, I'm like, I know how to do this. And then I quickly found out that I didn't. And so the things I did naturally throughout my career, because I was always very ambitious, made a lot of moves and kept moving forward, I started to apply to my business. I'm like, wait a minute. This is why people get stuck. I know how many of you watch. Yes, I know what you're talking about. If you feel betrayed by the system, if you've been passed out for a promotion, if your work's not recognized, if you're not moving as far or as fast as you know you should, and yet we sit here and blame everybody else. I got news for you. Like, for my company, if we fail, that's my fault. I can't blame customers who won't buy, or people who won't take the coaching advice. And so the steps you take to become that CEO of your career is beautiful, because you don't have to learn anything new. All you need to do is take all the principles you apply to run your business or your division or even just your job and turn it into things you do for you. For example, you are natural at creating strategy and vision and executing and getting things done, right? You know how to get stakeholders excited. You know that with your company, without a sales team, you don't have a company, and how to treat your customers like they are your most valuable asset. And then just start to figure out, okay, who within your organization do you really connect with from a collaboration perspective to continue to grow? Now, we do these things naturally for work every single day. What if you took all of those skills and applied it to your career? And when you start to make that mindset shift change, then that's when the light bulb comes on and you start to take much more control. And the beauty of it is you make a bigger impact for the organization as well. It's not just about you.
That's incredible. Yeah. Rob, I can see the light bulbs. The light bulb. It's like smoke
knows
coming
me
out of it.
well.
I know what he's about to say. Ask a question.
I don't know if it's the smoke coming out of my ears or the steel, whatever. Yeah, as you're talking, Tammy, I'm really taken back. I spent 25 plus years in corporate America, and
Me too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And as I said at the outset of this program, I was clueless, and I was clueless, but I was learning on the side, preparing for the day when I could own my own company. And so what that meant was, while I was in the company I was working for, I was starting to implement things like you're talking about, these skills, maybe the things that I was particularly, adept at. In my case, I averted there was large scale layoffs when a new boss came in, as what usually happens where I was working. And unbeknownst to me, 3 separate people in 3 separate one-on-one interviews with the boss said to them, if you get rid of Rob, you're going to have a big problem, because he keeps everybody productive and happy and looking forward, in a matter of speaking.
Yeah.
And I never had those conversations, but I realized when I heard that, when the boss told me that, she goes, I was ready to fire your butt. I was like, thank you.
You were out, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But you start to discover the skills. And as I acquired more skills, I added them to them, and I became a very valuable player in that company. But then what happens when you get too many skills and you're inside a company, you got to carry out some, the boss's stupid decisions. You're like, I'm out of here, right?
I'm not doing this anymore. Right? I'm not playing. And it's interesting because one of the things that we talk about when you make that shift to becoming the CEO of your career is we assume our value is based on our tenure or how hard we work or how smart we are or how big our team is. But as a CEO, you trade on something different. You trade on impact. And when you start to question yourself and be honest and say, what impact am I making within this organization? And are the things that I'm doing aligning with the company's goals? Then you realize that, Rob, you get in the catbird seat where they won't get rid of you because you're valuable, versus I've been here for 15 years. I've done my time. I deserve a promotion because I've put in my time.
Yeah.
And, sometimes being the smartest person in the room isn't the only way to get there, thankfully, because I would have never gotten there, right? I was never the smartest person in the room. But yeah, so I think absolutely that impact is a game changer for yourself in terms of your sense of purpose and contribution, but also to the organization to actually see and feel and get addicted to the value that you deliver.
No doubt. It's interesting, right? So I think it might have been from How to Win Friends and Influence People or Think and Grow Rich. Those 2 books are one of the classics I go back to every now and then. But it talks about how, especially in the younger generation, there's an And again, this is a slippery slope too, talking generations, probably not should avoid that too. But let's just say in the generation of today, how about that, right? There's a tendency to, if you pay me, I'll do it, right? Versus just do it, become, like Rob said, become indispensable. And then you're gonna just, you're gonna show that you make an impact on the company. But I love the word impact because to me, that's why we're here. I mean, it's not just about making an impact, adding to the bottom line, but why? And I remember hearing you speak about this in your launch party, and I was like, so awesome how you talked about it. But anyway, I want to shift gears a little bit, and we want to get into. We have a bunch of questions. I doubt we'll get to even half of them, but because I know you're just incredible wealth of knowledge here. But I want to talk about lies. So, community, type in hashtag lies. So, what are the top 5 lies people believe that hold them back from achieving career success? And that could be any kind of success, obviously, but we're focusing on career a little bit here. So,
yeah, and this is all about what keeps us stuck. And when I finally started to get my act together with this company and understand what I was doing, some of the things I looked for and some of the patterns that I've seen, and this is consistent with everyone who's holding a CEO job for a very large company to an intern and everything in between. And so no one gets a pass on believing these lies and really letting them hold us back. And so the first one is that no one actually believes that you deserve to love Mondays. You think it's a pipe dream. It's reserved for those special people or those crazy entrepreneurs that are willing to risk their money. And when we realize that it is not a pipe dream, that it is as essential as the air we breathe, as the water we need to sustain ourselves, and we don't compromise, everything changes. And that's why a big part of what we talk about is everybody deserves to love Mondays, because when you do that, everything else gets better. So the first lie is that's why they call it work, not fun, and Mondays aren't supposed to be fun. That's a lie. Change it, and you'll see just a massive improvement. The next thing is we believe that we don't have the experience to do something different. You're in a specific industry or you do a specific job and you hate it and it hates you back. And now it's like, but I'm stuck now. I'm 20 years in, I'm 15 years in. I've just gotten my college degree and this is what I'm trained to do. And so we don't know that the fact that you're different can be used as a competitive advantage. It's not your Achilles heel. The other thing we believe is that corporations don't hire from outside their industry. I'm not in this industry. I don't know these people. I don't know the jargon. And when you realize that your outside perspectives can be used in unique situations where they are in high demand and in short supply, you're able to suddenly play in an environment that you've never been in before and feel that energy. The one I think that systematically holds everyone back is the belief that you have to take a step back if you want to do something different. Now, the concept of trading compensation, impact, all the things you've worked for just to be happy is insane. Do not believe it. And the reason people believe it is because if you do it wrong, it happens. But when you do it right, you're stepping into a bigger role, making more money, having more impact, and feeling that joy. And then the last lie that holds people back is that if you are patient, the company will take care of you. And I got news. Yeah, Rob's like, no way, right? I mean, your good work is not good enough. And so you need to realize that you need to do more for yourself in terms of advocating. And Steve, one of the things I said during the launch party as well, during our keynote, is that if you asked me today, is CWC, better than its competition? I would say, oh, absolutely, we are. Right? In our niche, for who we serve, we are absolutely the best. But if I ask my clients, are you the best person in your company? Are you the best person that does what you do? It's like, oh, no, I'm not the best. I don't want to be held, we don't think we can't say that about ourselves. But when you're the CEO of your career, you can. And you can show up. Just because you're the best doesn't mean other people are not good and excellent at what they do. It just creates that differentiation for you. So those are the things that if you believe any of those and you don't love Mondays, then those are the things you need to start to lean in on to start to change that for yourself.
I think the last part of what you said, Tammy, is what hits me right. And that's, I take ownership as a word out of what you said. And even when I was not really close to owning my own business, when I was working for that company, I treated the company as if I owned it.
Mhm.
And that was actually, and look, I was never vocal about, oh, here's the way I am and here's what I believe. I was not that person. I just worked, and I worked as if. And even my boss, upon a review, she said, now this was actually after I left, she gave me a review on LinkedIn. She said, he treats the company as if it was his own, even as an employee.
That's a
And I
mindset.
thought that was the highest compliment I could have, because that's the mindset. And I believe this is what you're driving at. If I'm wrong, let me know. But when you're the CEO of your career, it's ownership. You are owning your part. You're owning the advancement of the company via what you put into it. Is that right?
Absolutely. The book was written for the disenfranchised worker. Let's be honest. Right? If you don't love Mondays, you need to buy the book. But what I found, which blew my mind, is that companies are paying me to come do the same keynote for their people. And you might think, why? And it's because they want their teams to feel that ownership, right? They want their teams to stop blaming their crappy boss or a situation or a reorg or everything else as to why they're not thriving, contributing, and making that impact. And so this is a situation where absolutely everybody wins. But it starts with mindset, because you already have the skills. We talked about that. You know how to run a business. You know how to do the pieces and parts. So tactically, you get it. But you have to step into that frame of mind. And when that happens, you no longer do work for a bonus that's going to be promised to you at year end, in the hopes that your boss doesn't develop amnesia or get fired between now and then. Right? You no longer have the pleasure or the recognition of hanging out with the senior leadership team without the promotion or title, because that's called scope creep. And in the business world, when my client comes to me and says, hey, I need you to do 20% more work, it's like, excellent. We're going to renegotiate that contract.
That's right.
Client says, oh, I'm going to pay you in 9 months. It's like, sorry, that doesn't work for me. And so you can say that in a productive way. But when you start to advocate for yourself like that, you actually get more respect. And the companies know that they can rely on you, and they will continue to do that. But we're afraid that it's going to make us look like we're not a team player, or that, we're not willing to do the work, or whatever that's supposed to mean. And so by changing that mindset, all of these things start to go away. And then because you're trading on impact and doing things that are most important to the company's results, everybody's happy.
Love it. Well, listen, I want to, speaking of happy, I want to just acknowledge a few people. I didn't get a chance to acknowledge Jennifer. She's in the house, so great to have you, Jennifer. And then I want to say hello to Shane. Recently had a connect call with Shane. Good to have you on the call. But I do want to get to this one question by Lewis. So community, type in hashtag ego, EGO, and I want to ask, see if we can get Tammy's input from this question here. Not that one, but he asks, how should one deal with executives' egos?
Well, we all have ego, right? So just some of us get to put it more on a pedestal than the others. Here is what I recommend in terms of how to deal with executives. And it's not just executives, it's everyone. We all have ego. We all want to have pride in what we do. And so some of us want to be heard more than others. But when you take, again, let's put that CEO hat on, right? When you look at everyone within your organization as your most valuable client, then all of a sudden your mindset shifts. And when you're working with a client, what you want to do is get them what they want and need, and accomplish your goals as well. But when we don't have that client relationship internally, we tend to think, oh, that's your agenda. That's, this is your political, battle to fight. But when we start to say, what does that CEO need most? And how can you be the person to help them get that? Then all of a sudden, it's really not about ego. It's about aligning connected, but yet separate agendas to get both of you what you want. And so when you start to take that service-based mindset and focus on, okay, I need to get this done. Now, it's almost like, one of those giant legislation bills where everybody kind of tucks something in that they want, right? Just to get it through the House and the Senate. And so, but when you can add things in that allow other people to get their needs met as well, then all of a sudden those egos start to normalize.
Love it. Love it. Well, I want to. We're getting to the bottom of the hour here, so I want to just we're
I
gonna
knew this was
jump.
gonna go fast, right? So
Yeah,
yeah.
it goes fast. So I want to get to, because I in the beginning I talked about vitamin to Vegemin and getting unstuck. So we got to go. We got to get that one. We got to get your perspective on getting unstuck. So if you could, community, type in hashtag unstuck. And here's the question as we kind of close things down and wind the show. What advice do you give to someone feeling stuck in their career or job and unsure how to move forward?
So there's three big steps. One is you need to ask yourself, what are you really going for? Like, what is your goal? Because we have seasonality in our careers and in our lives. And so when you look at, okay, what is it that I think I'm going for? And then you start to challenge and test, well, is that still what I want? Or is that what was important to me 5 years ago? So you want to make sure the goalposts are clear and still current. Step one. Step two, to get unstuck, is you really need to start to understand why it is you want that thing. 9 times out of 10, when my clients are chasing a dream, I'm like, how come? Like, because I'm supposed to, because that's the next thing, because I need to buy my land, things that they're excited about. I'm like, hang on a second. So challenge the why. And if you know that the goal is clear and your why is exactly because this is what you want for the things in your life, then the third piece of this is to focus on what fires you up. Focus on the things that you can do for 12 hours a day and never get tired. Because when you can play to your strengths and then find mitigating, ways to handle the things that you suck at, because if you're not good at it by now, you're never going to be my friend. So you need to find different ways to do this. So play to your strengths. And if the current role that you're in doesn't give you all the things that fill you with that fire in your belly, add more things to it that do. And if that doesn't work, then it's time to make a move, either internally or externally. Because when you can spend more time doing the things that light you up, then that feeling of being stuck goes away.
Wow. There's so much good stuff in here. Tammy, I wish we had more time. Because, I mean, look, for the audience, we're scratching the surface here. And a lot of what you said, like, this is the kind of the valuable stuff that I learned over the years. Like, you're packing into just a few minutes here. But look, I know you have a giveaway for our audience, which, audience, listen, if you've got anything out of what Tammy was saying today, you're going to want to just pay attention, at least for a few seconds more, to what she's going to give you here, because I know it's going to be hugely valuable. But why don't you tell them about it, Tammy?
So no one wins alone. And with that idea, what we're offering all of your listeners today is the opportunity for a free strategy call. This isn't a cheesy sales call. Let's flip this, right? Because coaching is a personal choice. But if you really want to talk to one of our experts, say, here's my situation, here's where I think I want to go, and test and challenge some of your ideas with a pro, we are giving you a complimentary 1-hour strategy call. So that is going to be invaluable to help you move forward, just to kind of gut check the things that you're thinking, maybe some of the strategies that aren't working for you. So I'm just thrilled to be able to have the team show up and serve in that way.
Yeah, and I just want to say, what took me years. Now, look, I'm not as successful as I want to be, but I'm definitely more successful than I would have been had I not learned some of the principles Tammy was talking about. But it took me years. Don't take years. Contact Tammy now and get that strategy call done.
Yes.
No doubt.
Thank you.
No doubt, for sure. Well, Tammy, we really appreciate you. And what's the best way for our community to reach you?
Yep. So this is all about the Master Connector Show, right? So reach out and connect on LinkedIn. Because I want to know what you thought, what your perspectives are, all those kind of things. So please connect with me on LinkedIn, Tammy Alvarez. We've got newsletters, all that kind of fun stuff. LinkedIn and YouTube are the primary social channels that you can find us on. But then also, if you really want to check out some free resources that are going to help you move faster, hit the careerwinnercircle.com's website. And if you are hiring keynote speakers that want to talk about loving Mondays again, then I'm absolutely your girl for that. So you can hit that up on escapingthecareertrap.com.
All right. Well, we're going to have you go in the green room as we close down things. We really appreciate it.
So much fun. Thanks again for the invite. Hope it was high value for the community, and looking forward to seeing this and rewatching the replay. That's for sure.
For sure.
Awesome.
Well,
wow.
Awesome.
That's good stuff.
Yeah,
huh?
She's great. She's great.
So listen, we're all about packing some value here in the Master Connector Show, and Tammy just gave you that link for that strategy session. I highly encourage you to do it. It's going to cut down the amount of time it takes you to get to the point where you want to be. in terms of your successful career. But listen, also, our man Steve Spiro here, he's an author, he's a speaker, he's overcome some crap. If you want to overcome crap, you got to listen to some of what Steve's learned over the years. I'm going to put that in the comment below. You want to pick up his book, The Tao of a Master Connector, because here's a guy that has overcome so much, and you can learn from somebody who has the bloodied, marred, scarred, broken bones of failure after failure, because he overcame to succeed. So grab Steve's book there. Steve, thank you for writing that book.
Appreciate that. And basically what you said, it's a big load of crap in there. So it's great.
Good stuff on the other side.
I love a lot. A labor of love for sure. Well, I appreciate your community. And listen, next week, episode 168, Wednesday, June 19th. Yes, it'll be on Juneteenth. Are you a true difference maker? It's going to be amazing with my man, Josiah Klettel, I believe is how you pronounce it. We'll get a better pronunciation when we have him on the show. And if you're interested in sponsoring an episode or learning about the next, episodes coming up, go to masterconnector.show. Rob G keeps it current. So we appreciate you, Rob, doing that. But listen, here's the last thing I'm going to close with, right? At the age of 35, Vera Rubin, an astronomer facing gender discrimination, decided to take control of her career by shifting her focus to the study of galaxy rotation. Despite skepticism from her male peers, she persisted in her research, which led to groundbreaking discovery of dark matter. Her determination and dedication to her passion transformed the field of astronomy and cemented her legacy as a pioneering scientist. Remember, folks, whatever you do, take ownership. Who knows how you can have an impact? And let's always be that light. See you next week.
And you start to hear some of their challenges. And yes,
because it speaks to the core of who you are and what drives you forward. Because what makes you different is what drives you.